Let me unmute everything. Hello world, hello Immortal Minds peoples. This is going to be a co-stream edition of Immortal Minds. I don't think we've done this like this before. And of course, joining me is PUCKETT. What is up, PUCKETT? Are you excited for today?
Brother, our first ever watch party here on Immortal Minds. We get to watch some of the best Valorant on the planet. This is the best day ever. I know it's still early for you, but Dan, it's cocktail hour out here on the East Coast for those not working on a Friday. So cheers, everybody. We're in for a good day.
Yeah, this is going to be fantastic. I mean, we have selected, we get to pick whatever game we want, and we're going to do Cloud9 Blue versus 100 Thieves. That's, I think, an easy choice. Both teams, obviously Cloud9 were able to win the first round. I'm not sure how many people expected it. A lot of people had them in their top 4, but they're playing really, really well at the moment. And 100 Thieves is a team that we know has the potential. They're pretty new in terms of their lineup of 5 that they've assembled. It took them a while to get there, but with someone like Nitro, who, at the helm with Steel and Hiko, it's just hard not to respect the history behind all of those players.
Absolutely. And if you guys are just joining us in the Valorant universe after watching some of the early competition but haven't seen the recent moves, 100 Thieves signed a whole roster of players, cut that whole roster, kept Hiko, and then brought in some of the GOATs from the CS world. We got Nitro from the NA scene being the shot caller. You got Steel in the lineup. And then they bring on some big fraggers here, Dan. Asuna and Dicey have been added to the mix, and it's a brand new 100 Thieves. Everything you remember about 100 Thieves branding and Valorant, throw it out, because this new squad has a whole new vibe to it. And I've been loving watching them so far in this qualifier.
Yeah, I think this matchup is, in particular with them and Cloud9, is going to be particularly interesting, because it still feels like this game is so hard to know what to expect from teams. You can, from game to game, you can be hiding things, you can be saving things, you can be relying on those fundamentals. And it feels like that's something that all of these top teams should be doing. But when you come up against a team like Cloud9, if in 100 Thieves' shoes, I feel like they're going to be showing something that we haven't seen before in a matchup like this. Because also in this game, I feel like there's so many things you can throw at teams that they haven't seen before. So I'm just really hoping that we see some creativity behind 100 Thieves there. I know that obviously someone like Steel is just the way that his brain works is very extremely tactical. So they have no shortage of brain power to kind of create and innovate in a game like this. So it's really exciting. I think the more I think about Valorant and the more I think about what it offers as an esport, that's different to its, I guess, main competitor CS. It just fills me with excitement because of just the amount of things that you can do. And as you get new agents, coming into the game one at a time, the variables, get more and more complex because of just how things can synergize. So looking forward to seeing what they can come up with in terms of that. Given how established Cloud9 is, I feel like something special is needed to beat them.
Yeah, I think we should touch on a few things before we get into today's matchups. Sky, not available in this tournament. This is probably the last time you'll see an event without Sky in the mix. We have seen a number of positional changes, and really, I feel like the freeing of relics recently on Cloud9. This is Cloud9 Blue, by the way. Cloud9 now having Cloud9 Blue and White. This is their men's team, the Blue Squad, who have won the qualifier. And it wasn't easy getting through the open qualifier into today's closed qualifier. Looking at the C9 matchups that they had to go through, I mean, this is a squad that has already taken down Envy, TSM, Slimy Boogerman, Equinox Esports. You saw them 2-0 set yesterday. So this is, I feel like, another huge matchup for Cloud9 going up against 100 Thieves. Without a doubt, they have to be the favorites coming into the matchup, right, Dan?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just how established they are, especially getting in this format in particular. Again, I think you're relying a lot on fundamentals. You don't want to, especially if you're a favorite team, you don't want to show anything that you could possibly use later on. Now, I don't know if there's an expiration at all, given the fact that obviously with new agents coming in and new maps coming through and the meta changing so quickly, there is an expiration date on certain things that you might come up with. So that might not be the case exactly. It may be the case that Cloud9 decide that this is one of the teams where we want to break through free from some of a more fundamental focused approach and try to throw the gimmicks and try to surprise them in the key moments and just show them the respect that we know that if we just play a straight up game, they're a team that can deal with that. But again, there's this hidden element because we don't see how the scrims are going behind the scenes. And some teams also are preventing themselves from scrimming against certain other teams. And so we don't really know a lot of those details and how that plays out.
We've already got the blacklist starting. This is a thing in Call of Duty where you get put on the blacklist and no one scrims you. Is there a bad guy in the Valorant universe of a team that no one plays? We're already into the mix here, Dan. Real quick, want to point out while they're on their very first round, Cloud9 has not won the opening pistol in their last 3 games they've played. They've won all 3 of those games. But look at this team not come out swinging in a huge way. This is Gen G versus Complexity, it looks like, as we're waiting on Cloud9 and 100 Thieves to kick off. But we should mention, we're going to be going red zone style today, right, Dan? We're going to be bouncing around to all of the best games possible. And that's kind of our goal here during the watch parties.
Absolutely. And I think it's going to be pretty fun to see exactly, how things will play out, because in tournaments like this, it is fun to kind of be able to have bounce around. Usually as commentators, we get locked into one matchup and we're missing stuff. And so it's going to be fun to be able to just pick and choose as we desire. And we've got Bind here to start things off between 100 Thieves and Cloud9. And actually, for those of you that tuned in yesterday to the stream, I was actually doing a VOD review of Cloud9 playing Bind against, oh God, who were they playing? Envy. It was in the finals. It was the final map of the finals of the first round of the open qualifiers just a week ago. So I have some insight as to what the normal gameplay looks like from Cloud9, but Envy play, I would imagine, a pretty different style to what I expect to see from 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves, you got a bunch of old school Counter-Strike players. I would expect a more structured and default-oriented approach. And with Envy, they were playing quite a contact-based game where they were leaving parts of the map open. They weren't playing around map control as much, but they were just trying to get those big bursts onto the sites and execute well. But that didn't. Cloud9 just completely crushed that style of play. So we'll see 100 Thieves with the early lead, and I guess we can start to get into it.
That's all you need. Just a 4K from 10s to open things up. 3 of those kills come with a Bucky in the 3rd round. The economy was kind of in tatters, and now, just like that, they're back in the game. On the other side, Dicey's got the op for the first time. So I think this is going to be fun to watch once they get the real guns growing here, Dan.
Absolutely. And, it's one thing that we're not going to get with the co-stream is the audio of the game, which is the only downside because we don't have like a clean feed for the observing, which would be the most ideal scenario. So apologies for that. But one thing I think immediately jumping out to me here is that we're seeing Tens playing Jet as opposed to Reyna, and Reyna obviously it feels like it's an agent built for Tens and his play style. And look at the early aggression. We're talking about throwing stuff at your opponent. Already aggressive setup on the defense, trying to punish the default from the opposition with the showers control. And we have that early showstopper coming out from 100 Thieves to try to get an early pick there. But Cloud9 actually dodged that play. So they're kind of ahead here in the early round, which is nice for them.
I love it. I am a little salty that I'm always going to be about 5 seconds behind you throughout today's broadcast. Dan's going to take the lead on the plays, but I think one of the things to note here is just the operator play from 100 Thieves. They've been working behind it. Dicey has been a monster on that Jet, and he's going to be playing the A side. So don't expect a ton of challenges over there. I think you're going to see more of the action over here at B, and it's going to be the attack coming in. If you're looking at the team, though, from Cloud9, it's not just the Jet. Keep your eyes on Relics on that raise. Just peeking some of the numbers. He has had the highest ACS over 2 of their last 3 battles, and the man has just been impressing throughout this entire qualifier.
Yeah, definitely. It's really cool how he fits into the team, and Cloud9 are really good at just setting each other up, and Relics definitely gets set up to succeed with how Cloud9, like their synergies and their team play is something that I'm sure we'll be highlighting. And right now, this worked out really nicely. We saw that they dodged that early aggression on showers, where 100 Thieves are trying to catch them off guard, trying to use their showstopper to try to get an early pick. Cloud9 dodged it. They reset themselves into a B attack. In this period of time where 100 Thieves didn't have info as to what was happening, they invested a lot to get early info, and it didn't really work out. And Cloud9 just hit a good timing on the site. So again, something that I've noticed from Cloud9, and you would expect to see it from any top-level team, you have to be able to do this, which is recognizing your advantages and how to play them. And those advantages can come from all kinds of different things. Maybe it's a numbers advantage, timing advantage, an information advantage. There's so many different ways to be ahead. And it's just about recognizing it and having the right protocols to capitalize. And Cloud9 have been really consistent with that lately, so I've been really enjoying that from them.
They've just been so fun to watch. And I think also we should credit Shinobi, the way he's playing so far in this tournament, in-game leader for the team. You've looked at previous tournaments and just bottom fragger, not really getting much damage output despite all the information he's gathering and some of the great flashes he's had on Omen. But this tournament, he's contributing. And I like to see Cloud9 continuously evolve their attacks. It's not just their defensive play, it's their attacks that have kind of been questionable throughout their time. And if you look at their strengths as a squad, it's always the defensive numbers are in their favors. As soon as they can balance it out so that they are consistently dangerous on attack, I think that's when they're in the running for the top team in North America. For now, though, you're just kind of relying on these instant frags, the opening frags here from Tens and Relics, as it's going to be 10 setting up to get the first.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves actually, I don't know if this was, just a really awesome mind game or what happened exactly. Sometimes you just get a little bit lucky, but we saw them setting up for a stack towards the B site. They had just an alarm bot towards the A site, towards Showers, and they gave up Showers control completely, took away the Showers player and played him on B, which I think it's Asuna who went to B instead of going towards Showers, and that allowed them to have a super strong defense there on B, and Cloud9 sort of just contacted straight into it. So kind of unfortunate for Cloud9, but that will keep 100 Thieves ahead for now. The money for both teams, though, is not particularly great at this point in time, so I'm curious to see what the look is here for both sides. I'm liking that 100 Thieves have been pretty active on their defense right now, and something you don't see every day is, just Killjoy playing pretty aggressively in Showers here for 100 Thieves as well, with that very forward alarm bot, wanting to really understand whether or not Cloud9 are going for that Showers control, for the orb control, and Steel, he's got so many different ideas. I like this a lot. This could be a pretty huge play given that there's 3 players around the corner.
Yeah, this is one of the best Killjoy matchups you're going to see, with Mitch, of course, for Cloud9 versus Steel on the other side. Of course, the changes, the patch notes, you have to be within range of your items for them to work. Mitch is going to come out on top of that individual battle. But once Killjoy goes down, you don't have to worry about the rest of her kit. And I think that is actually a huge improvement to the game.
Yeah, and I think Mitch completely just I think that play was very transparent. I think, as you say, in a Killjoy versus Killjoy, Mitch probably read that the alarm bot's in that corner because Steel wants to punish with a certain angle, and so Steel unfortunately was not able to have the impact in this round. And it's a good coordination up short at the same time, allowing a plant. So retake here for 100 Thieves. They do have Hunter's Fury available, so we'll see if they're able to actually make this one work. But it's looking pretty good for Cloud9 right now. They've just got so many players left alive. That said, Dicey is going out there with the Blaze Storm, so maybe there's a world here. Dicey's able to peel away 1 player, so it's not looking too bad for them. But ultimately, it's one of those things. We're in a really weird territory right now, Chris, because they changed the economy. You're more punished for saving guns now because you don't get rewarded the loss bonus. You get like a set loss bonus for saving.
On that, Dan? So before you go too far explaining it, chat is telling me that they're not playing on that patch. It previously, by the way, guys, once patches came out, we had no choice. You had to play on those patches. And we saw that from tournament to tournament. If something went live, it was in the game that day. Chat is informing us that they're still on 0.10, not the 0.1. So we're in a little different scenario than what we've been playing in matchmaking. Thank you guys for that catch. I was not aware that they already had that fixed. And shout out to Riot for allowing us to play on past patches at this point. It's finally working right.
yeah, that is really important. So that's, very good detail. But yeah, it's funny because the point is that you're more incentivized to try to retake because you don't get rewarded as much for saving. So it's funny to see that they went for the retake there. But I think a lot of teams and players are still feeling it out. You have to kind of go for it. A game's pretty new. It's hard to know exactly what you can get away with sometimes. So it's something that's less predictable compared to Counter-Strike, where there's so much, so many years of experience that players have as to what can work out. So Cloud9, they're really going for this Showers control again and looking to just burst on the A site. It seems like they felt how easy it was in the previous couple rounds to get that split working for themselves, and they're trying to punish 100 Thieves for playing very